Good evening, I'm Prasarana Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. Is it the end of the road for UMNO in Perikatan Nasional? Many leaders are beginning to reject cooperation with Muhyiddin Yassin's government.
Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak told party leaders and members in Pekan on Sunday night that UMNO will suffer a slow death if it remains complacent with its role in the Perikatan Nasional government. Speaking at the Pekan Umno AGM, the former UMNO president said the party will not be able to sustain itself by merely being a component party in Perikatan Nasional.
Kita dahulu menjadi penerajui agenda dan hala tuju, bukan seperti hari ini menjadi pendukung dan menjadi pengikut. Asal ada jawatan menteri, sudah gembira, walaupun kualiti portfolio tidak sepadan dengan sumbangan UMNO kepada kekalnya kerajaan yang ada. Kita harus keluar dari putaran ganas kehilangan keyakinan diri ini untuk membina kejayaan baru dan berterusan. Jika tidak, jika kita berterusan kekal dalam putaran ganas kehilangan keyakinan ini, maka UMNO akan berakhir sebagai parti politik yang berpengaruh.
Najib's remarks came a day before a total of 189 out of 191 divisions nationwide expressed their objection to any form of cooperation with Bersatu in the wake of the 15th general election. According to Utusan Malaysia, only 2 divisions, each in Kelantan and Perlis, had agreed to continue working with Bersatu. Malaysia Kini learned that the division in Kelantan which agreed to tighten the ties with Bersatu is Ketere, whose MP is Anwar Musa. Anwar, who is also the BN Secretary General, has been criticized by certain quarters in UMNO who saw him as leaning towards Bersatu. Utusan also reported that the Pagoh UMNO divisional meeting had openly opposed giving away the seats to Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin, who is the Bersatu president as well as Pagoh MP. It is learned that the division will propose names to contest in all assembly seats under Pagoh, as well as the parliamentary seat. This was in contrast with State UMNO Information Chief Dr. Adam Baba's statement that the state chapter wants Muhyiddin to contest in Pagoh. Meanwhile, Kelantan UMNO Liaison Chief Ahmad Jaslan Yaakob said he is ready to quit as the Malaysian Palm Oil Board chairperson if PN fails to dissolve parliament by the end of this month. The BN Machang MP said he would do so to show his unwillingness to cooperate with the ruling coalition if it does not seek Yang di-Pertuan Agong's permission on the dissolution.
Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin appointed several UMNO leaders to various government-linked companies and statutory bodies. Now, those people are beginning to speak up.
UMNO leaders now appear to be rocking the Perikatan Nasional boat, helmed by Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin. The latest leader to make waves is Kelantan UMNO Chief Ahmad Jaslan Yaakob, who today announced his resignation as the Malaysian Palm Oil Board MPOB chairperson. The resignation came hours after the Machang MP said his withdrawal of support for the Perikatan Nasional PN government will be accompanied with him relinquishing his MPOB position. Jaslan, who was appointed as the MPOB chairperson in April last year, said he doesn't care about positions as he prioritizes dignity. In his resignation statement, Jaslan said he had submitted his resignation letter to Plantation Industries and Commodities Minister Khairuddin Aman Razali, and it will take effect on January 6. He thanked the minister and the MPOB board for their cooperation. Meanwhile, UMNO's Pasir Salah MP Tajuddin Abdul Rahman, who was appointed as the Prasarana Malaysia Berhad chairperson in May last year, is also giving Muhyiddin a headache. A group of 17 contractors had complained to the Prime Minister that Prasarana under Tajuddin was withholding RM700 million in payments for their work done on the LRT3 project. In a press conference to respond to the allegations held this evening, Tajuddin had this to say.
For your information, in the past, during PH government, 1 tahun, kontraktor tak dapat bayaran. 1 year, during PH government. Ini tak sampai beberapa bulan pun. So what is the issue? Kata kita tahan bayaran. It's not fair. And furthermore, I nak cakap macam ni, they are big contractor. Ya tak? turnkey contractor yang menjalankan projek 11 bilion. So what do you expect? What we expect, dia mestilah ada modal. Dia tak? Dia mestilah ada modal untuk bayar kerja-kerja yang dijalankan oleh dia atau dia kerja oleh apa tadi? Oleh subkontraktor dia. Ini dia tak ada duit. Dia pergi suruh semua kontraktor ni komplain dekat kita. Komplain dekat menteri lah, komplain sana, komplain sini lah. Bukan? Dia patutnya cukup modal. Jadi kalau saya cakap banyak nanti dia public listed company, you know.
The MACC is looking into Prasarana, but the company denies that they were raided today. They say they were only visited.
MACC officials paid a visit to Prasarana Berhad's office this morning as part of their probe into allegations that company chairperson Najib Abdul Razak has been exerting his authority by seeking significant changes at the rail and bus transport operator. When contacted, MACC Chief Commissioner Azam Baki confirmed the matter, saying they have begun an investigation into the company. Malaysia Kini learned that a team of MACC officers had gone to Prasarana office located in Bangsar about 9 a.m. today. Prior to this, The Edge has reported that Tajuddin, who is an UMNO leader and Pasir Salah MP, was exerting his authority by seeking significant changes at the rail and bus transport operator. Some of these changes have supposedly raised questions about the leadership and direction of the wholly owned unit of the Finance Ministry. When contacted, Tajuddin denied that the company's office was raided by MACC, as reported by The Edge earlier today. Instead, he said that the anti-graft investigators were only visiting the office.
If you're in the Klang Valley, you may want to reduce your movement because COVID-19 is in the community, says the Health Ministry.
Malaysia reported 1,741 new COVID-19 cases today, with a large portion of the cases concentrated in Selangor, Sabah, Johor and Kuala Lumpur. Based on the latest data released by the Health Ministry, Malaysia's cumulative death toll also passed the 500 mark, with a total of 501 deaths since the pandemic started. This comes after the nation reported 7 new deaths today. The number of active cases in the country now stands at over 22,000. There are currently 122 patients in the ICU, with 53 requiring breathing aid.
No third parties were involved in the death of Nora Ann, a court ruled today.
The Seremban Coroner's Court has ruled that the death of Irish-French teenager Nora Ann was due to misadventure. Coroner Maimuna Ayed said there were no third parties involved in Nora Ann's death in August 2019, after she went missing a day after she and her family arrived in Malaysia for a 2-week vacation at the Dusun Resort in Pantai Hills near Seremban.
So after hearing all the relevant evidence, I ruled that there was no one involved in the death of Nora Ann. It is more probable than not that she died by misadventure, i.e. she had gone out of the Sora house on her own and subsequently got lost in the abandoned palm oil plantation. For me to speculate and presume of her action and involvement of third party without any proof fact would be a breach of my duty. So the inquiry is hereby closed.
The ruling took around 2 hours to be delivered as the coroner went through the testimonies of witnesses and was streamed live online. A total of 47 witnesses, including the teenager's parents, gave testimony during inquest proceedings, which began on August 24th last year. Nora Ann, who was 15 at the time, went missing on August 4th, 2019. Following a massive search operation, her body was discovered near a creek in a ravine, located about 2.5 kilometers from the resort where she and her family stayed. A preliminary post-mortem report stated that the death of the disabled teenager had no criminal element, stating that she was dead from gastrointestinal bleeding due to prolonged hunger and stress.
Coming up next is the US exaggerating its COVID-19 figures. Two top US health officials disputed a claim by President Donald Trump that data on COVID-19 cases and deaths were overblown.
Top United States infectious diseases expert Dr. Anthony Fauci on Sunday disputed a claim by President Donald Trump that federal data on COVID-19 cases and deaths in the US is over-exaggerated after Trump in a tweet attacked the CDC's tabulation method. Fauci on ABC's This Week said of coronavirus data released by the CDC that, quote, the deaths are real deaths. He added that jam-packed hospitals and stressed-out healthcare workers are, quote, not fake, that's real. The CDC on Sunday reported there were nearly 350,000 deaths from the new coronavirus as of Saturday, a rise of 2,321 deaths from a day before. Trump on Sunday fired off a tweet saying the number of cases and deaths of the China virus is far exaggerated in the United States because of the CDC's ridiculous method of determination compared to other countries, many of whom report purposely, very inaccurately, and low. Trump then took aim at Fauci in a subsequent tweet that read, quote, something how Dr. Fauci is revered by the lamestream media as such a great professional, having done, they say, such an incredible job, yet he works for me and the Trump administration, and I am in no way given any credit for my work. Another top U.S. health official, U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams on CNN on Sunday, also defended the CDC data. The Trump administration has been criticized for falling far short of its target of inoculating 20 million Americans by the end of December. Operation Warp Speed Chief Advisor Monsef Slaoui on CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday said, quote, we need to improve. The recorded number of infections in the U.S. spiked to more than 20 million cases, according to the CDC on Sunday.
Tougher lockdown restrictions are probably on the way in the UK as COVID-19 cases keep rising.
Britain hopes to provide tens of millions of vaccinations over the next 3 months, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said on Sunday, December 3rd, as the UK faces record levels of cases of COVID-19 that are rising, fueled by a new and more transmissible variant of the virus. That's forced Johnson's government to cancel the planned reopening of schools in and around the capital London, and there are calls from teaching unions for wider closures. But speaking on the BBC's Andrew Marr show, the Prime Minister urged parents to send their children to school in areas where rules allow it.
Schools are safe. Very, very important to stress that. The threat to the risk to kids, to young people is really very, very, very small indeed, as the scientists continually attest. The risk to staff is very small.
Johnson said the UK will have 530,000 doses of the Oxford or AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine ready to administer on Monday, January 4th. But he also warned that the government might need to consider tightening lockdown restrictions. He declined to give examples of what that might look like.
The country, I'm fully reconciled to that.
Britain recorded 57,725 new cases of the virus on Saturday, and with more than 74,000 deaths so far during the pandemic, the government's response has been heavily criticized.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll be back with more tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Prasarana. Thank you for watching.